Thank you very much, and greetings, comrades. Comrades physically present in Portland, and over 250 people watching. It would seem on the 5 continents, so that's like really great. So greetings from London, England, and it's an honor to participate in this historic united initiative of Friends of China and Friends of the Chinese Revolution. Now, as Joe just indicated, when the People's Republic of China was founded in 1949, China was one of the very poorest societies and countries on earth. The subsequent political and economic trajectory of the People's Republic essentially falls into two distinct phases, with the second commencing with the launch of the policy, which is known as reform and opening up, from the end of 1978. The achievements of the first period, the Mao era, should not be underestimated or denigrated. They were among the most stupendous in human history. Life expectancy in China grew by 1 year for every year that Mao was in power. From being practically the poorest country on earth, Mao's China solved the basic problems of feeding, clothing, housing, and educating almost a quarter of the world's population, provided basic medical care to the whole population, brought literacy to the overwhelming majority, massively improved the social position and role of women, and so on, a whole range of further social and economic and political achievements. So why then was it necessary to make such a radical turn in policy in 1978? For all its progress, China remained at the time of Mao's death in 1976 a very poor country, although the basic necessities of life, as I've outlined, were more or less guaranteed. Whilst famine had been eliminated, food was still strictly rationed. Although disparities and inequalities remained, China under Mao may be considered to have been one of the most equal societies on earth, but to a considerable extent, it could be described as a socialism of shared poverty. Moreover, at this time, huge changes were underway globally. Countries and regions around China were developing rapidly, albeit in many cases highly inequitably. However, this capitalist development in the region was then skillfully turned into a positive factor by China as its principal source of investment in the first stage of reform. For China at the time, such investment was crucial. It provided what the country desperately needed: a faster pace of industrialization and employment for those living in the countryside that could enable them to begin urban life, guaranteed export markets, skills and technology transfer, capital, technical and vocational training, and advanced scientific management. None of this would have been possible, at least not on the same scale, to the same extent, and at such a rapid pace, without the foundations that had been laid during the period of Mao's leadership. That is, without a basically educated, literate, and trained workforce, without housing and medical care, without a transportation network and paved roads that link to the whole country. And this is a major reason why Xi Jinping, from practically his first remarks when he was elected General Secretary of the party for his first term in 2012, has consistently stressed that the two phases of China's socialist development should not be counterposed to one another, but rather should be seen as two parts of a single revolutionary whole, one resting and building on the foundations laid by the other. In the last 4.5 decades since the reform period began, from a marginal position, China has become the world's second largest economy. It is the biggest manufacturer, largest exporter, and the major trading partner for 2/3 of the world's nations. It has rocketed up the value chain, increasingly leading the world in innovation and R&D. In just a few years, the whole country has been covered in a network of high-speed rail, accounting for some 70% of the world's total. Of course, no change as rapid and radical and on so vast a canvas as the process of reform in China could possibly unfold without, as a secondary aspect, some negative features. And these are essentially what Xi Jinping has been working tirelessly to correct since he assumed the leadership inaugurating what the Chinese now call a new era, meaning a new stage in the long march towards developed socialism. Among the key features of this new era that we can identify are a merciless and ceaseless campaign against corruption, a rectification of the party's ranks, decisively returning to the concept of serving the people, a massive targeted campaign resulting in the historically unprecedented elimination of extreme poverty across the whole country, with careful follow-up to ensure that people do not slip back and that their lives continue to improve. Tackling pollution, preserving the environment, safeguarding biodiversity, and leading the global fight against climate catastrophe. Rolling out by far the world's largest program of medical care and insurance and old age pensions. Ensuring that all sectors of the economy work in the overall interests of socialism. A reaffirmation of the central and guiding role of Marxism. An increasingly proactive foreign policy with the strategic goal of building a community of shared future for humanity and featuring increased support for and solidarity with the other socialist countries and a more dynamic engagement with a broad range of progressive forces internationally. Whilst China remains, in its own words, in the primary stage of socialism, the overall goal now is to build a modern socialist country in all respects by 2049, when the People's Republic will celebrate its 100th founding anniversary. And such an achievement will truly be something that will change the world. Thank you very much.